Hey, Jeff Kelderman here, Kelderman Trucks. Today we're going to go over this 2024 Ram 5500 four-wheel drive. This is our personal shop truck. We got a big 50-foot gooseneck that we use for hauling really Dad's farm machinery around between farms here and there. But I just had this feeling that, you know, with building this big 10 to 12 Ford that we had at SEMA last month, that there's a chance that we were going to need to haul that out instead of drive. So we bought this Ram on a Tuesday. They delivered it on a Friday morning. So after lunch, the guys pulled it in, threw it on the rack, tore the front end off, and got the front air ride installed. A couple of guys came in on Saturday, started on the rear. Meanwhile, we had ordered an EB flatbed. EB's just 100 miles up the road, just on the north side of Ames, Iowa. So we ran up and got the flatbed. So the guys came in Monday, they finished the air ride, and the guys, and that's including me too, I'm working on this too, because we're still trying to finish our 450 that's going in our booth, as well as the big 10 to 12 F250. This EB aluminum flatbed kit, it comes with the hitches. We got the hitches all mounted up, threw the flatbed on there, and Wednesday night, we hooked on to the flatbed, and that was our maiden voyage with this truck. So we just ran down the road, make sure all the brake lights work, trailer brakes, all that fun stuff. Came back in, loaded up the truck, and bam, we headed to Las Vegas. So what this truck has is, starting on the front, it's got our Alpha Series bumper. And the cool thing about our wings on our bumpers is they're wide wings, so they match right out to the outside of the contours of the fender flares. We powder coated this bumper. I mean, some of the trucks we'll do on the nicer ones, we'll do a color match on the wings, but this being a tradesman, this truck's gonna, have some gravel roads going back and forth to the farm, so we decided just to do powder coat. On the Alpha Series bumper, we went with the winch style, so it's got a 16.5 Warn winch in here, so we figured, my dad gonna be down at the farm, it's just a matter of time before he puts us in a bad situation where you're gonna need this winch to get it out. We also decided to go with our Commander for two reasons. One is, it's great protection against, if you smoke a deer out here in Iowa, which they're everywhere. But you also can throw in a couple 20-inch rigids. So as soon as you get off the road and you're on the gravel roads, you can light these things up and see for miles. We also got a pair of monster hooks. They work really well. If your dad gets this thing really in a bad situation, you can run your winch out to a snatch pulley, come around here, and just grab this this monster hook, which will double that 16.5, and bump that clear up to 33,000 pounds of pull. And in the wings, we've got two 4-inch Midnight Series rigids. What's cool with these work trucks, they'll come up with upfitter switches. So you'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one has a PTO setup, but we're not using that on the switch. So we tied in our two outer lights on the bumper to switch 1. Switch 2 is these two. Our switch 3 is our air ride air compressor, and our switch 4 is our dump. If you get a chassis cabinet that doesn't have upfitter switches, we could tie all these into a Switch Pro, which sometimes that's beneficial because the Switch Pro, you can get on your phone on your app, and you can actually dim these down to say 50%, 40% for on highway use, and then have another button you could push, which is 100% power for when you're off the highway. So a couple things about this truck. This is just a tradesman, so it's a basic works truck, cloth interior, basically you got cruise control, air conditioning, and power windows. That's about the only options you got. So the black grill and the black headlights actually look pretty cool. And then we put our Kelderman grill in it as well. And Ron made this grill a while back, and we just hadn't used it yet, but, had the red, white, and blue in it. Very patriotic, looks badass. So our front suspension is the same on a two-wheel drive and a four-wheel drive. We pop out those big heavy-duty coil springs and put in our airbag system. We also have a steering stabilizer kit that you can buy even if you're just looking for a little improved steering feel on your 5500 or 4500. You can order those online. You don't have to order the whole air ride suspension. But these front air rides, we have two different options of shocks. We have our standard duty, which is just a regular work truck. You're gonna be running empty, just as much, 50-50 say. But if you have a truck that's gonna be fully loaded, for example, like this Dynamax motorhome, we have a stiffer shock that is designed for maximum GVW. So top of my head, I think that's I think it's like 7,200 pound front axle, and so it's got a stiffer valving for when something like this is going to be running maximum GVW all the time. So on the rear, we have our 4-link suspension. This 4-link, believe it or not, is already 17 years old. So back in 2007 when Ram came out with the 4500, 5500, they're just starting the program. They hadn't released it to public yet, but they had 5 test mules. And one of the engineers that came and visited us at SEMA, and it's like, hey, we realized we, got to have a right suspension, got to be able to get the frame down to 28.5 inches for this, for the standards for the ambulances. So, we were hoping maybe you guys would look into building a suspension for this. And of course, we're like, absolutely. So they gave us one of the test units. So long story short, we took the truck, put our 4-link on it, and we put 65,000 miles on that truck by the time we gave it back to Ram. But by the time they got it back a year later, every ambulance company in North America had not only seen the Ram for the first time, they had seen the Kelderman air ride, and that really, obviously is really good for sales. When you're first to market, you're the only game in town. So that worked out really well for us. The design has very few changes from day one. Now 4-link here, we've got a large sway bar. Really, the only change has been is what I was describing earlier on the shocks. We've got, instead of using the OEM shocks, we got the Kelderman shocks. So if you're thinking about, having a truck built, it doesn't matter if it's a Dodge or a Ford or a Chevy, we work with EB. EB is just up the road, like I said, hour and a half away. And, you could buy the truck, send, have the truck shipped here or find one locally, whatever you want to do. You could pick out your bed at EB. We can go get it for you. And then it works out great when we're putting our suspension on. We can put the hitch on at the same time. This particular bed came with the gooseneck hitch here, and then it came with a hitch here. As you can see, we're hooked on to our enclosed trailer. We're getting ready to go to a car show in Chicago. Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals, awesome show. We're taking the Joe Dirt car, and we're taking the Deer Taste Superbird that I finally got done. So that's going to be, if you're following our YouTube, Jeff Kelderman's Garage, there's going to be an episode coming out pretty quick on that. It'll probably be episode 11 or 12, I'm guessing. But back to what we were talking about, you got the hitch that comes with it. You got some steps here. EB does a good job with their lights. It's real easy for us, plug and play. We mount the brackets to the side. We aluminum weld the plates here. And, I've seen a lot of trucks come through here. I think we do probably a better job than most guys when it comes to mounting up these bed and the toolboxes. So the compressor system, we went on this, we decided to go with our mechanical. So typically you're going to go either electronic, which either one's great. We just decided to go old school with this. We got dual compressors. We got our dryer. We got 4 height control valves. They're the same thing as like you run, just a Haldex, like you run on a semi. So you got one on each corner. We got a couple 3-gallon air tanks. We got our coupler back here because all of our trailers we run around here, almost all of them have air ride. And then whether it's our gooseneck or our fifth wheel, it's set up with air ride. So we've got air up here and at the bumper. So if you wouldn't have went with the mechanical system, it would just be our 3H system, and that's the electronic version. Gives you a little more flexibility. It's kind of what most of the guys are doing on the Dynamaxes, because from inside the cab, if you get at a spot where you don't want to use your leveling jacks or having problem with leveling jacks or just want a quick setup, I mean, you can use your 4 corners, air, add and subtract to kind of level up your chassis for the evening. So if you're looking to build a hauler, give us a shout. We, between the Chevys, Dodges, and Fords, very few shops get as many trucks in as we do. So if you want an honest opinion, the 550 Fords are awesome. The Rams are awesome. The Chevys, I'm not a Chevy guy, so I'm just not gonna hold that against you guys. But the Chevys have big ass cab. They got tons of power. We can make all 3 of them ride fantastic, and we can install whatever bed you want and put you together a truck to get your job done. Gotta harass Chevy guys. Thanks for watching our video. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on social media here. If you want to watch our last video, click here. Don't forget to hit that like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, hit that bell button so you won't miss our next video.